Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Casual Sports Talk Podcast. We got NFL preview, East and West Division, and now we got a gentleman right over here who will never talk about the Buffalo Jets unless it's me. Here's Chris.
The good old Buffalo Jets. What?
Butt fumble Jets. The butt fumble.
The butt fumble. You said Buffalo. I was like, oh, what? Butt fumble Jets. I mean, that happened. How many years ago did that happen with Mark Sanchez?
It's been 14 years since
14 years. And Geno Smith, is Geno Smith going to be the star for the New York Jets? If so, then maybe we'll see Butt fumble 2.0 this year. Geno Smith, he's getting a little bit older in his career for being an NFL player, but hey, Butt fumble 2.0.
Butt fumble 2.0 indeed. And now we got a gentleman right over here who's excited that hopefully we don't have a less Dianna Russini talking about the Patriots. Here's Douglas.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't followed that situation too much, Stu, so don't have too many opinions on it. I'm sure Mike Vrabel's a great guy. Don't really know the ins and outs. Yeah, all I know is what you've told me.
Just saying.
That's how much I've looked into this.
Yeah, here's the thing with Dianna Russini, that whole fiasco was that going on during last season? Because if so, and if I was a Patriots fan, I'd be like, Vrabel, keep doing what you're doing off the court because you finished this season 14-3. So maybe you ruined your relationship with your wife, and then Dianna Russini ruined her relationship with her husband. Who knows if those relationships are even ruined? But you guys finished 14-3. You guys won the division, made it to the Super Bowl. So good job. Hats off to Mike Vrabel and the Patriots.
But speaking of Mike Vrabel, we figured before we start doing our podcast, I figured we wanted to see, Mike Vrabel not happy about a challenge call in the preseason. I figured I want to show you this clip.
He looks mad.
Still throws the right there.
Apparently, they haven't assigned a assistant. I don't know if you guys heard this, but I keep up on my NFL rules. And now the coaches can pick an assistant to throw the flag for them if they so choose.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me?
So there's going to be 32 openings in the NFL for the red flag challenge thrower assistant coaching position.
The head coaches can still keep it if they choose, but yeah, maybe start applying to your local club, see if you can be the challenger.
Yes, Detroit. Would you want me to be the challenge thrower right over here? I will definitely apply.
You're too affiliated with the Cowboys. We know that'd be way too biased.
Hey, I would never be biased.
The Lions get treated by the referees enough without you being involved. Okay, we don't need this.
Boo on this one. But speaking of dumpster fires and butt fumbles, we got the Las Vegas Raiders, who last year it was a complete disaster. This team Geno Smith was trash. Pete Carroll got fired. Pretty much everyone got the pink slip right over here. This team we all gave them the colossal one because they were all dog shit of dog shit. Or, as Cam Warwood said, this team was ass. But now, we got Mendoza right over here. We got a Kirk Cousins that's now going to be the starter right over here. So we're going to start with myself. And how do I feel about the Raiders? The Raiders, I feel like, are just like, I still think this team is, I don't think this team is going to be that great. I think, let's be honest, they're kind of the bottom feeders right here. Probably bottom 5. I think there'll be some improvement. I think there could be some betterness.
What a tough division, though, too. To share a division with Denver, Kansas City, and the Chargers, that's tough company.
Yeah, I think there might be 6 guaranteed losses. They'll be lucky if they win 5 of those. Win 1 or 2. But, you do got to play against Dolphins, lost. Chargers, lost. Saints, Chiefs lost, Patriots lost, Bills lost, Rams lost. Jets is a coin flip. You lost against the 49ers, Broncos. Oh, God.
The Browns, let's go. It's in Cleveland.
It's at Cleveland.
Here's the thing, though. They have so much young talent that you kind of feel like they're, the amount of young elite playmakers. I feel like they should have traded Max Crosby, though. I feel like they should have done what the Browns did and be like, we have a top, 5 pass rusher, trade him, get the first round pick because he doesn't fit their timeline. So obviously they tried to send him off to Baltimore there, but now he's kind of back. And like, I don't know, that whole situation feels weird, but they have an elite defender, 3 or 4 good young playmakers on offense. Like, there's some recipes for a good year.
You have a replacement level quarterback in Kirk Cousins. You're going to have Mendoza sit the bench, which I do agree. I think Mendoza should be sitting the bench. You don't want to, like, I feel like for the young quarterbacks, you don't want to throw them in the tire fire of a bad organization. And even your cat agrees that they should have Kirk Cousins sitting in there. No Mendoza.
I don't know, man. Mendoza looked good last night. I feel like he's going to be starter by like week 5.
But hear me out. That's against like people that are on the practice squad right now. This is not like people said. People said Shador was looking good in the preseason last season. And look what Shador looked. Ass.
Yeah, but he got like no reps. He got like 0 reps. They were like holding him like without like on like the 3rd string behind all those other dudes. Like he wasn't getting any playing time. If they would have taught him up like they should have and coached him up, I don't know what Stefanski was doing there. He had a chance if they just like put time and energy into him, but it seemed like they were against him playing. Where with Mendoza, they're like, this dude's a future star. Like he's probably splitting the reps with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
I think. Oh, sorry, Stuart. I'll make my. I don't know if you're going to make your prediction.
Oh yeah, I was going to make my prediction. I'm leaning either to a 2 or 3 right now. I just feel like this team. Yeah, I think they're going to have a lot of clunker losses. I think that they still have a tough schedule, even for a team that's in like the bottom 5. Like it's not that great. Like that, they still have a murder's row of a lot of games. And I am going to go 5-12 for the Raiders right now. I think that's going to be the record right over here. So we'll start with you, Douglas. Where do you think the Oakland Raiders are going to be, and record-wise?
I mean, honestly, I think I'm fairly aligned with you on this one, Stu. Like, I think they got a lot of pieces, but unfortunately, I don't see them being not the worst team in this division because all those other teams are solid. Obviously, the Broncos, if Bo Nix stays healthy, there's a good chance they're in the Super Bowl last year. Mahomes will be back and healthy. I think he's practicing. So I'm going to go with a 3 and like a 6-11-ish. Like, there's a chance that they could steal some games. I think you get Mendoza, Brock Bowers, Genty, and who was it, Trey Tucker. Like, great young, like, 2nd or 3rd year players. But I think they need another year or 2 to fully gel.
Yeah. And now we'll start with Chris. Are you going to be the similar opinion on the Raiders?
Similar opinion, yes. Exact opinion, no. So week 7 ends with the Rams for their schedule, and then that's when they play the Jets, then the 49ers. I think after week 7 is when we'll see Kirk Cousins no longer be a starter and go to Mendoza because after week 7, I can see the Raiders being 2-5. It's not an easy schedule for the Raiders, and like you gentlemen said, they have 6 games against total against the Broncos, Chargers, and the Chiefs. A 5 is just missing the playoffs. They're not going to just barely miss the playoffs. They will miss the playoffs. It won't be close. I'm going to give them a 4, though. Record-wise, right now their over-under is 6.5 wins for the season based off Vegas. Are they going to hit over 6.5 wins? Ooh, man. I'd probably say 6-11. I know you guys said 5-12, 4-13. But they finished 3-14 last season. I could see them, getting double the wins this year. So yeah, 6-11 with a 4.
Yes, 6-11 right up over here in this team, indeed. And next we got the Kansas City Chiefs, where your favorite, you were loving their downfall of last year because they played like ass. They did not look good. Mahomes got hurt. Also didn't help that they were, I believe last year, 1-11 in 9-point games or less. Interestingly enough, they did not have the clutch gene. They went 6-11.
Like 2 years ago was a fluke when they went like 13-0 in 1-possession games or whatever it was.
Or maybe because they also didn't draft a lot of good wide receivers. Just saying.
Well, Rashee Rice has potential if he can stay out of jail.
Yes, comeback player of the year, Rashee Rice. Yes. Or my joke is like when Tree does it, it's going to be Rashee Rice. He's going to get the wheel of discipline. So what are they going to do for Rishi?
That'll be interesting. I'm excited to see what their new running back does. Why can't I think of his name? The dude that
Kenneth
just won the
Walker?
Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, Kenneth Walker, baby, out
Kenneth
of
Walker,
Seattle.
yeah.
Oh, Kenneth Walker.
That might help them out a ton, honestly. That might be a really nice
Kenneth
addition.
Walker out of Michigan State. Whoa.
Yeah, that might do them good.
Yes.
They haven't had a good running game in a while.
But I will say also, gentlemen, someone is also coming back, and that is Eric the Enemy, one of the wide receivers right over here. And Mr. Travis Kelce was asked about this, about how did he feel about Mr. Eric the Enemy coming back right over here. And I figured I wanted to show you this clip, gentlemen.
One, you got intensity. Intensity is the first thing. And that intensity is infectious. Makes you want to scream motherfucker at everybody doing the wrong thing. And I love that shit. It's one of my favorite things about him. I don't think there's enough of that in the world, let alone in this building. And I think EB's one of those guys where his accountability is going to piss you off. But if you treat it the right way and you act the right way, respond the right way with it, you're going to become better of it, and it's going to make the team a better team because of it. And it's one of those things that I think we really miss here in Kansas City.
Yes. So Eric the Enemy's back. Let's go. They're going to the Super Bowl, right? But anyway, we'll start with you, Christopher.
I actually do in one of my, one of my crazy bets that I picked, champions from each league. I did pick the Chiefs to make it to the Super Bowl. Don't have them winning, but I have them reaching the Super Bowl. But anyways, Chiefs, they finished 6-11 last year. They have Rasheed Rice back. Travis Kelce, he just got married to Taylor Swift.
Switches are happy.
Hopefully that doesn't really sidetrack it. I like what Travis Kelce just showed on that little video clip on Twitter or X, talking about the intensity of Rasheed Rice. You need intensity to play in the NFL. They're going to switch it. They went 6-11 last year. They're going to be 11-6 this year. Looking at their schedule, I'm not saying it's cupcake, but it's a way easier schedule than what we looked at for the Las Vegas Raiders. I mean, they started the season. The Broncos. Okay, that might be a great game. But then you got the Colts, Dolphins, Raiders. I'm not saying the Colts are a pushover, but then you got the Dolphins, Raiders. Chiefs could start the season 3-1. 11-6. They're gonna make the playoffs. They should win the first round. So give me a 7, unless they play if they play the Bills first round, Mahomes is unstoppable against Allen in the playoffs.
Wow, good for you. I think I kind of do agree with this one, but Douglas. Are you going to disagree? Are you going to say? Are you?
My answer now for you, gentlemen.
So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because last time you were pretty much the Chiefs hater. You pretty much said that this is the collapse. Do you feel similar about this year and how it's changed, or do you feel like that this is the same Chiefs that they did last year?
I'm not gonna lie, I've been on the fence. I've had some thoughts about the Chiefs, and I go back and forth each time because I do think Kenneth Walker is a nice addition. But coming off of a big injury from Mahomes, how much will he be back to MVP self? He's still obviously an amazing quarterback, but I don't know, man. I feel like the AFC has gotten stronger, and I don't know that the Chiefs are going to be good. Mm-hmm. But I've been on the board. I've kind of been somewhere between a 9-8 and 11-6. I don't think they're going to win the division.
But the question is, do you think
I'm going to go with a contra? I'm going to go with a 10-7, but a 5. I think they're going to.
What?
I feel like they're going to sneak out of the playoffs. They're going to be in contention, but I feel like things are going to bounce against them a little bit, and maybe they'll lose a tiebreaker to somebody. You still got to play the Chargers, who will be better and more healthy, and with a new offensive coordinator that'll open things up. You got to play the Broncos, who are a couple plays away from the Super Bowl last year. No guarantees that things will be easy in Chiefland this year.
I feel like for the Chiefs, I feel like they were definitely, granted, I'll put it this way. They could go Chargers upside. Whereas that year when the Chargers were a 2, they had a lot of 10-point games where they just blew it all those games and they just lost. And Chiefs, they could bounce that back. It's not like they're getting blown out by points 20, 30 points. The only problem was for last year is they never beat anybody that made the postseason. Not one of their games they won was, which was a big problem. All the teams they beat were teams that did not make a postseason. I do think they're going to have a better record. I don't see him going like 6-11. I don't see him like having a losing record this year. I think you still have Mahomes. You still got Travis Kelce. Kenneth Walker just won a Super Bowl, like with the Seattle. He's going to come and do that with the Chiefs. Like I said, he's going to be there. Eric the Enemy is going to be coming back. I trust Andy Reid. I trust the process. I trust the system. I think I'm probably going to go with the 7. I think they could win a playoff, and I'm thinking I'm going to go with 11-6 also. I think that we'll see. Like, it will be interesting if the Chiefs do come back. I think they could put some damage right over there because, like I said, these are veterans. These are teams that have made it to the Super Bowl, have won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Everybody else besides the Bengals, like in this era, it's only been the Bengals and the Patriots that made it to the Lombardis and the Chiefs for the AFC in the last 5 years.
Stu, one thing I have to point out, though, with how kindly you're talking about the Chiefs, I think some of this could equally transfer to the Eagles. And I just want to point that out as we hear when you go over the Eagles and all the fraud and Hurts overrated and all this, but they've won a Super Bowl. They've been competitive every year. I think they deserve some respect on their name, and so do the Chiefs. They've been a dynasty. But I'm just simply preluding to the fact that you will have a completely different spin on the Eagles, even though they've won a Super Bowl and been competitive every year.
And I'm just saying, and the problem is,
you can't contradict yourself, Stuart. That's the problem.
I mean, are you going to tell me
this about the Chiefs and then say something else about the Eagles who are like almost on par, running parallel with the Chiefs?
I mean, I'm just saying, like don't get me started when we talk about next week with the Eagles, which I'm going to say frauds because you know what?
I know it. That's all I'm pointing out. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
I mean, one of these teams won 6-11 this last year and didn't make the playoffs. The other one still won their division, right? Back
but they still had some clunker ass losses. That was the problem.
They won the Super Bowl over the Chiefs 2 years ago in blowout fashion.
I'm just saying, if Jalen Hurts throws some interceptions and they're going to be like, bench Jalen Hurts, fire Kevin Stefanski, like, this team is fucking frauds, fuck this team, they haven't done shit to me, like, look what they did when they won the Super Bowl last time. They said, fuck you, Carson Wentz. They booed him during COVID when there was no fans.
You said fire Kevin Stefanski. Why would they fire the Falcons head coach?
I'm sorry, not Kevin Stefanski. I'm sorry.
Whatever the Eagles head coaches. Nick
Sirianni. Sorry, they're going to fire Sirianni on this one. But we'll see. You know what? I do feel like, Douglas, would you do a $5 bet that the Chiefs will not? I think they're going to make the playoffs. Would you do a $5 bet?
I don't think I can because, I honestly, I'm really torn. I don't. This one would be not a good bet, not a good spend of my $5.
Maybe you should give them a 6. Just saying.
I think I was being slightly defiant, but no, I do think that there's a very real world. Like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like time has kind of passed them by a little bit. It's like you see these and you kind of hope that they can get back to what they were 2, 3, 4 years ago. But it's like all these other teams are young, hungry, retooled, nice trades. You got elite defenses across the NFL, a bunch of great quarterbacks in the AFC. It's not going to be a cakewalk for the Chiefs this year, and they got Mahomes coming back from injury. I'm just being a skeptic as a local Chiefs hater. I got to counteract your hate. I got to love the Eagles due to your hatred of them. I got to counterbalance. Still.
I'm just saying, if they go 5-12, I will literally be like, yes, this is the greatest thing. Throw an interception, Jalen Hurts. Throw an interception. Boo this man.
We're talking about the Eagles. We're talking about the Chiefs over here.
Anyway,
when the Chiefs lose in controversial fashion over a penalty called against them, I'm just going to be like, they're going to finally get some calls that don't go for them at some point too, and it's going to be glorious.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes on this one. And speaking of teams that have been consistent, with the Chargers, 2 years, made postseasons 2 years, made the wild card in 2 years, lost their first game in 2 years. So we'll start with you, Douglas. This is going to be an interesting one. Do you think, as the Harbaugh lover, as loving one Mr. Jim Harbaugh, who got you a national championship and then left to go to be a Charger, do you think Herbert can they make a postseason? Can they win a playoff? And that's a good question. Or do you think this team is not going to make a postseason?
See, I mean, once again, I'm on the fence. I do think, just knowing Jim Harbaugh, I think the fact that they have Joe Alt back this year, and they finally have, I think, what's his name, like Slater, like their offensive line is kind of set. I think that they have, I think the addition of, was it Mike McDaniels as the offensive coordinator will be really nice. So it's a tricky one, though, because they choke every year. It's kind of like trying to pick the Bills to make the Super Bowl, and you're just like, I don't care how good you are in the regular season. They keep, like, the 2 years ago, like, when they laid an absolute egg against Houston, still sticks in my mind, where Herbert threw, like, 4 interceptions. Like, they just looked, they got dog walked in a game that they were favored. And, like, those types of games mess with the psyche. So it's hard for me to say that they're going to win a playoff game. So I'm going to give them a 6, and I'll go with, like, an 11-6 record.
Yeah, I feel like that I'm kind of agreeing with you, Douglas. I feel like I love the Chargers. They've been consistent. They have been going a little bit well. I mean, it's definitely the opposite of like the team. This was, and I will say probably last year, this was probably the weakest team in the AFC that made the postseason. And I believe they lost 16-3 against the Patriots, if I remember correctly. It was not a close game. Like they have in the Herbert era, the last 2 years of Jim Harbaugh, they've been in the postseason and they kind of got dog walked right over here.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see a different, because I mean Justin Herbert's got potential, but at some point, we kind of got to say, like, show me something in the playoffs. If you want to be in that top tier convo, do it when it matters, man. Like, not put up these terrible performances in playoff games.
Yeah, and even before Harbaugh, he also had a career history of just like choking in the playoffs or not making the playoffs.
Were they the team that choked that one away to Trevor Lawrence like a few years ago?
Yes, they did. They had a 28-point lead and they blew it.
Yeah, like he's consistently choking in the playoffs. So it's like until they win a playoff game, I'm not going to predict them to win a playoff game,
Yeah, and I feel like the same way as I feel like the Steelers. It's like I don't trust them winning a playoff game. I still don't. I think they'll go 10-7. I think they'll make the postseason. They'll probably make the wild card, and then they'll blow it, or they'll get injured, or they just don't do well. And I'm just like, I cannot trust them. I just cannot trust this team to like go past the first round. And it might be Herbert. I don't know. I just feel like that this team cannot be consistent and cannot like make it into there. Now we'll start with you, Christopher. What do you think about the Chargers? Do you think they can win a playoff game?
Yeah, so the past couple of podcasts I've mentioned that you have to have 10 wins to make the playoffs as a wild card team. I'm going to change that. You need 11 wins to reach a wild card spot. Yeah, I mean, Doug mentioned Joe Alt's coming back. They have another tackle. I forgot his name, but great offensive tackles. But yeah, the biggest question mark is our boy Justin Herbert. Can he stop the choking? Can he stop the bleeding? Defense should be great because they're the guy who replaced was it Jesse Minter, who's head coach of the Ravens now. The guy who replaced him, he's been with the Chargers for X amount of years, so it was an in-house promotion. So the defense should be right on target. It's whether Justin Herbert's gonna rise to the occasion. I'm gonna say they're gonna be 10-7. They're gonna miss the playoffs. Give me a 5.
Oh,
I still like their he's a sophomore now, or sorry, a second year. Omarion Hampton should be a great running back. I'm not sure their backup is, but they also still have, was it Ladd McConkey? Correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. He's a third year. So yeah, as long as Herbert throws to McConkey, gives the ball to Hampton when the time is in need, yeah, they could do it. But I don't see. It's a tough. We all know that the AFC West is a tough division. I don't see 3 teams making it to the playoffs from that division. I just said the Chiefs are going to be 11-6. They're going to win the first round as long as they don't play the Bills. Or no, if they do play the Bills, they'll make it past the first round. And then obviously we're going to talk about the Broncos next, and I have the Broncos winning this division. Sorry, Chargers. Don't see them making the playoffs this year. Great year being 10-7, but they just don't have it.
No, I just don't think they have it. I just feel like that this is going to. I mean, let's be honest. We are not going to do a contender series on the Chargers. There will not be a playoff win. There'll be a eulogy in the second week of January or the first week of January. That is my prediction right over here, gentlemen. And then speaking of the teams, the team that did well and did well, the Broncos made it to the AFC Championship, but unfortunately, the week before that, They beat the Bills, but what does this cost? Bo Nix getting hurt. And what are you supposed to do when you have a Bo Nix injury and you went for it on 4th and 1 instead of going for a field goal? And you lost 10-7 on this one. Let's be honest. And let's be honest, even if they did make the postseason, I don't think they would have beat the Seahawks. I just have a feeling.
No, without Bo Nix.
With no Bo Nix. But we're gonna let's go Stidham. But like I said, how do I feel about the Broncos country? Let's ride and the power of Christian music of Bo Nix. I still think this team's looking good. I still think this team could be contenders right over here. They definitely improved from last year when they were a 6. They went to an 8. This team looks good. They got most of their weapons. Like, I can't take this team out. I think this team's going to be great. I think this team will probably win the division. I'm giving this team an 8, and I'm going to go 12-5. I think this team will look good. I think they're going to have a good spot. I'm picking them to win this division right over here. And
so an 8 is making to the AFC Championship game or the Conference Championship. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Ooh, wow, bold prediction, sir. I like that. I mean, but looking at the AFC, that might be the pick. Broncos making it as long as Bo Nix stays healthy. Doug, Stuart, did you give them a record?
I gave them a 12-5, and
gotcha. So that's where I was going with 12 wins for the Broncos. They got the addition of Jalen Waddle coming over from Miami. That helps Cortland Sutton a little bit in the wide receiver slot. 12-5 for me. Like I mentioned, that this might be the team from the AFC representing, or going in the AFC Championship game about representing the AFC. I like that, sir. Yeah, give me an 8 as well. I agree with you.
Sweet. Look at this. We are now in the Casual Agreeable podcast. And Douglas, will you agree with everybody?
No, not quite. I think they're great. I think it's a good story, but I got them more like a 7. I don't think beating. I don't know. I feel like there's a few teams that I would take in a game this year ahead of them. Maybe the Jaguars, maybe the Texans, maybe the Patriots again, the Bills. It's hard for me to imagine them in the championship game at this moment. But I think they'll have a fantastic season. I wouldn't be shocked to see them represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year. Their defense is great. They've added some pieces on offense. Bo Nix is back. But they also got a little bit lucky last year, too. I think they had a nice schedule. They got some weird bounces that went their way. So, I think I'm going to go with an 11-6 winning the division, though. I think this is going to be a super competitive. I think I had 10-6, 10-7, 10-7, 11-6, something like that. And I think the Broncos will take it home, win a game. But I don't see them making the championship game at this moment.
Yes, but Douglas, I will say this: you still got the Chiefs, you still got the Broncos. The Broncos are looking good right over here. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, the Raiders are still ass, but let's be honest, they're probably going to lose all 6 of those games. Let's be honest, this team is ass, but I still feel confident. I feel confident on the Broncos right over here. How can you,
I think they got a chance, but like I said, I think there's a few teams that I would take over them on neutral field right now, head to head. So I think they're in my opinion, they're probably the 3rd or 4th best team in the AFC going into the year, from where I'm ranking.
3rd or 4th. So who do you think's above? You think? Well, obviously, probably not the Chiefs.
No, I think
Patriots are a little bit better than them.
I think the Bills probably I was saying that one's questionable, but every time they played Denver's won once when they played the Bills, and it just happened to be in the playoffs. The Bills have been consistently blowing out Denver in every other game. Granted, they choked that game, but if you look at all the record, Denver, I think, went to Buffalo the year before and got destroyed by 3+ touchdowns. I'm pretty sure. I still think I would take Buffalo overall. I'd probably take Jacksonville this year. They have a lot of pieces. The Patriots are a maybe. The Chargers are a maybe. The Texans are a maybe for me too. I feel like them and the Texans are pretty close. It just kind of depends on who takes a jump. Bo Nix, CJ Stroud. What is Daniel Jones back? Because when he was healthy, the Colts looked unstoppable. They have a great combo, but without a quarterback, their whole kind of engine stalled. I don't know. It's hard to go to the AFC Championship game back-to-back years too.
Yeah. I mean, it is hard. I mean, to
unless
be
you're the
frank,
Chiefs a few years ago.
Unless you're the Chiefs, or the Eagles.
Yeah, right.
yeah. I mean, that is probably the true. Even the Eagles. I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl or they made it to the championship, and then they just like boop, the next year they just kind of like have a regression. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes for the Broncos country. Let's ride right over here. And then we got my favorite punching bag, the team that I love to talk shit about, the New York Jets, who have been a colossal tire fire, who have been a butt fumble. Like, they have been a butt fumble since 2012, since Mark Sanchez dropped that ball on the butt in that Super Bowl against the Patriots. That should be at MetLife Stadium right next to Fireman Ed. Just that play of just him and the Patriots just running the football and be like, that represents the Jets organization for the last 14 years and counting. And fun fact, the longest team in the NFL to not make a postseason. It is now almost 15 years since the last time they made a postseason.
No.
But guess who's back? Geno Smith is back. Yeah. So everything is right. Everything. They're like that fashion trend's like, hey, we got the reboots. Let's go. It's gonna be better than the original, right? Right?
Yeah,
We'll start with you,
the other
Christopher.
team in New York I'm excited about. This one not particularly.
Yeah, good thing the city of New York, even though they're not in New York City, specifically, good thing they have another team they could root for. Yeah, the Giants.
Yeah, but
Speaking of Geno Smith, he's 35 years of age. Is he? I'm knock on wood, say that he does get injured this season. They have Cade Klubnik. Then they have Bailey Zapp, however you want to pronounce his name. So it's not really. It's almost like the Browns quarterback room. Like, don't really know what's going to happen or if there's a projected forecast of of where they're going to go. They were 3-14 last year. Question for you, gentlemen: Raiders were 3-14 last year. Jets were 3-14 last year. Who do you think is going to have a better record this year? Raiders, gotcha. So yeah, the Jets. It seems like their team is getting up there in age. Like you said, sir, they've missed the playoffs for 15 straight seasons. I'd rather be I'm a Browns fan, but if I had to choose between being a Jets fan and Browns, I'd probably say let's go Browns. Because it seems like the Jets are a worse organization than the Browns. Even though the Browns have so much turmoil with the whole Watson fiasco and getting rid of Chubb, but hey, we're trying to rebuild. But we're here to talk about the Jets. I'd say the Jets. I'd say the Jets a 4-13 record. So that they would probably be a 2, looking for a top 5 draft pick for 2027.
Now,
who do you think? Ironic things on this team is they got 0 interceptions last year, which is like crazy stat to begin with. But then they traded their best cornerback as well. I don't know, man. This defense, didn't they also trade their best defensive lineman, or am I thinking of someone else? No, that was the Giants traded Dexter Lawrence. Is that right?
Yeah, they traded Dexter Lawrence for some draft picks too.
Quinnen Williams or whatever his name is.
Oh, I think Quinnen Williams went to the Cowboys.
I don't see, who do they have? I mean, I know they just didn't they get an Ohio State guy at linebacker or something? Was that them?
They put David Braley, who's an edge for Texas Tech, that was his first one, and then Keon Sinkwins from Oregon. Okay. And then they got Omar Cooper Jr. from the wide receiver for Indiana.
See, I mean, I liked when Aaron Glenn was with Detroit. He was solid. But, I'm a little bit surprised. I didn't think he was, elite. He never, we had Ben Johnson, we had Aaron Glenn. Ben Johnson was clearly, mind of his own. He was so creative. He was the reason that the Lions' offense was so unique. I didn't feel Aaron Glenn brought anything in particular to the defense. He didn't do anything crazy. They just played a bunch of man coverage, and, it was just an average defense. And then, he hasn't, I don't know. I hope that he can really instill a culture this year, get some guys behind it. But, you got Geno Smith leading the charge, who, by the way, the year after he leaves Seattle, wins the Super Bowl.
Let's be honest.
It's they replace him with Sam Darnold and go from a playoff miss to a Super Bowl champion. So it's you got Garrett Wilson, I guess. Okay, Breece Hall, nice-ish pieces, but it's hard to see this team really. I agree with Chris. 4-13 too.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and wasn't Geno Smith was a former Jet, and he was kind of ass in the Jets. It wasn't like they were good.
Yeah, I thought they drafted him, and they just didn't really do much there.
Yeah, like this team was ass right over here. But I figured talking about a bunch of old players, I figured I wanted to send you this clip right over here of Mika Fitzpatrick talking about, players seeing him when he was see him in the 5th grade. These younger players talking about the older Mika Fitzpatrick right over here in this interview.
The spinning wheel. All right, I'm going to guess what I think they're going to say. Yo, I was in 5th grade when this dude was in the league. What now?
But it's awesome. A lot of dudes, they really look up to me. And
Yes, sir. You want to turn the volume up? Can't even hear Mika Fitzpatrick talk.
Oh,
they admired my game back in the day, and they still do now. And they pay a lot of respect to me, and I really appreciate the way that they, show love.
yeah. So he was pretty much talking about, man, all these younger players are like, my goodness. I saw you when you were playing 5th grade, but let's be honest. This team is still ass. Back to the Jets, Jets, or I like to call them SUCK. Suck. Because this team sucks. I am happy that I gave them the 1 last season. On preseason, I gave them the 1. The end of the season report card, I gave them the 1. I can't give them the 1. I just cannot. I feel like there's teams, in my opinion, that look like more like ass right over here than the Jets. I will give them 2 Aaron Glenn dances right over here. I don't think this team is going to be great. I think I am going to give them the 4-13. They will win 1 more game. They will be better. But mark my words, this team will get a eulogy by week 12 or week 13. They will be the first 5 teams that we will probably do a eulogy on. Mark my words.
You said week 12 or 13? All right.
Yeah, week 12, week 13, week 14, we will do the eulogy, and I will not be shocked that this team is fucking ass.
Well, week 14 is more realistic because in week 14 you only have 3 games left in the season. Week 12, you still have 5 games left in the season. Teams could still make moves. So yeah, 2 weeks is a drastic change for
But to be fair, the Giants, we gave their eulogy at week 12. Funny enough.
And this year we'll give the Cowboys in week 11.
No! Lies! Don't worry, we'll get to next week.
The Eagles are going to start 11-0. Cowboys are going to be 0-11, and they're going to be eliminated.
No! We got Raymond Dakota Prescott, God damn it! We got Quentin Williams is a grown-ass man. CeeDee Lamb will do TikTok dances right over here, and will get us touchdowns. We are doing
dances in January when the rest of the boys are playing playoff football.
Yeah. Making TikToks, what do you call it, Sir? Going golfing or whatever you.
We ain't going golfing. The Jets are going golfing. I'm just saying, the Jets, they're going to Cancun in January. Cowboys will be playing some playoffs in January.
Ooh, you want to make a $5 bet on that, sir? You're saying the Cowboys will be playing playoff games?
Yes, let's talk about that when we get to next week. But I will say yes.
So no bet, because I can almost, I'm not going to say I'm going to guarantee it, but I would not take the Cowboys to make a playoffs this year.
We got some good trades in the defense, just saying. And speaking of teams that are also ass, we got the Dolphins, who were lulling into disaster because, let's be honest, they got rid of Tua. This team was ass last year. I mean, Tua was complaining about people not going to training, not going to meetings, being late all the time. And they fired their coach right over here, where he basically talked about to win games, you got to win games. And unfortunately, they did not win a lot of games.
Well, I think we all agree that they should have fired him. I think we all thought it should have happened earlier, if anything.
Yeah, I think it should have been probably last fucking year, to be honest with you.
Who they got this year? They got Malik Willis coming in to be their starter. And they got rid of Jalen Waddle, and they no longer have. Well, Tyreek Hill is hurt, and he said he can't really put weight on his knee yet. Basically, they already said that the whole offense is going to be Achane. So, if you're looking for a good fantasy value, I guess you can go there. But I don't see a lot of wins in the forecast.
Are you telling me that? No, the Dolphins. Yeah, so you're telling me that Malik Willis is not going to get you the promised land? What about Quinn Ewers? What about Cam Miller? They're going to be great, right?
I
Right?
mean,
I don't
they
know
might be if
Cam
they had
Miller
somebody to
is.
throw to. Like who they got out there? They got like their two best receivers from these last couple of years are not there, and just like I don't know. You gotta. It feels like a slight downgrade in quarterback, even though people are saying it's good value. Maybe Willis will be good, but like I just think I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing like a team that's like a 4. I'll go 4. Maybe we'll go 6-11.
Wow. I'm
Wow,
actually kind of
dang, Doug, I
A
really like your
little bit
optimism
generous,
about this
perhaps,
team.
but they also get to play the Jets twice, so like that's gonna help.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Douglas. I might have to disagree. I think this team looking kind of assy right now. I'm feeling bad. I don't think this is good. How is Malik Willis going to help this team out? This team, I feel like he's going to get benched at some point, and then they're going to throw Quinn Ewers or Cam Middle, and then they'll just be like throwing like things. I know they got a bunch of like coordinators from the Packers. That's the interesting part. That is the interesting part. They're coaches from the Packers. They got a lot of coordinators from the Packers. They just figured, hey, it's too much of that snow. We need to be in Miami. We need to be welcome to Miami. Last season they went 7-10. I honestly see this team. I got to give this team the 1. I think this team will go 3-14. I think this team looks kind of assy right now. It's like it's them, and also spoiler alert. I think also the Cardinals might be in my one firing squad of like who's going to be who's going to be good in this team. I mean, they'll probably go 50-50. It's going to be them and the Jets, and like who's the most shitty team. Like, there's no hope. Tell me how there's hope.
No hope for the Dolphins. Is Joe Flacco? He's on a team, right? Is he on the Bengals or the Ravens or?
I think he's still on the Bengals. I think he threw a TD against the Lions last night.
Gotcha. So Joe Flacco seems like he likes to live in the North. Because where my mind is going off this is like,
he's still a Bengal.
Why would the Dolphins try not to pick up Joe Flacco? They have 3 young quarterbacks, like you mentioned, guys. Quinn Ewers, this guy Cam Miller, who I looked up while you guys were speaking, rookie from North Dakota State, was at FCS. And then they got Malik Willis, who's a 3rd year. This might be a worse quarterback room than what I just talked about with who did we with the Jets. Might be a worse quarterback room than the Browns. I agree with you, Stuart. Give me the 1. They were 7-10 last year. They will not be as good or even comparably to 7-10 because, like Doug said, they're going to run their offense through Devon Achane. I know they got Jalen Tolbert, a wide receiver from the they got him from the Cowboys because he was playing with the boys last year. Record wise, this is what I was trying to mention is when we were talking about the Jets. We always have those 1 or 2 teams that were like, okay, these guys are complete dog shit, complete dog water. They're the bottom of the barrel. And it's like, what 2 teams or what 1 or 2 teams are we going to be talking about this season that are not going to be good at all? I think it's going to be the Miami Dolphins. They're going to be getting probably the number 1 pick overall. I'd say probably 3-14, if not 2-15. Yeah, no hope for the Dolphins.
There is no hope for the Dolphins. I mean, is there going to be a certain point where I'll change this from the Dolphins to the Dolphins? Because
2-3, and you would do that.
Yes, because they're going to be low to a disaster on this one. And then look at that. We went from 2 assy teams to now 2 teams that look like they could be good. We got the Buffalo Bills right over here. So we'll start with me right over here. Whereas last season, the Bills did okay. They made a postseason. They won a playoff game. But they didn't have to deal with the Patriots. They didn't have to deal with the Chiefs. But they did have to deal with the Broncos and lost after the divisional round, keeping their tradition of choking in the postseason. Mm-hmm. So we'll start with this one. They did fire their coach, so that's going to be the interesting part. They're going to have a new coach, so we'll see how it goes. They did not draft anybody in the first round. They decided to go all in on some players right over here. I do think this team can be good. I do think this team can make a postseason. But I still feel the fate of what is going to happen with this team. And that's why I want to give them the 7. That's why I think they're going to probably be 12 and I'm going to go 12-5, and I think they'll have another heartache. As always, mark my words, it is going to be the same old story. And you know what? I think they should honestly change the new sign in Buffalo. It should be "Welcome to Buffalo," owned by the New England Patriots and Patrick Mahomes since 2001.
Well, Mahomes has not been in the league that long. So I think before he was owned by Mahomes, they were owned by a guy named Tom Brady, Stu, if you've heard of him.
Yes.
Since 2001. So I think Tom Brady dominated them, and then Mahomes came along. So Buffalo is always the bridesmaid, it appears.
And then maybe we could just put in and future own Drake May.
They should change the name to the Bridesmaids. That's what it is.
Yes, the Buffalo Bridesmaid. But I will say I did love their new stadium. They did some upgrades, and they had one of the folding chairs that broke on one of their sides. It's like, oh, that's super cool. But they're going to break this
$4 billion stadium, and I saw some pictures that some fans weren't happy with because there's obstructions to their view. It's like, yeah, $2.4 billion stadium. Make sure everyone has a complete view of the entire 120 yards of a football field. Because you got the 2 end zones, which are 10 yards each. That's why it's 120 yards.
That stadium, okay, here's my prediction for you, Stu. They're going to start 0-1 in that stadium. Okay?
Yes.
They're for sure taking an L in their first game in the new stadium. No doubt in my mind about this.
Against the Lions. I see why you're saying this, Doug.
Yeah. It's going to be an unfortunate start to the new stadium for them. But I ultimately think I'm going to give them an 8. I'm going to go 13-4. And I kind of feel like this is the year for Buffalo. Like, I feel like it might not be perfect, but I do think Joe Brady, their new coach, he's a guy that I wanted for the Lions for a long time. I think he was in Detroit at one point. Like, I think the coaching change might make the difference for them. I think they're really close, obviously, as we know. And, like, you still have Josh Allen, who's probably the best player in the NFL at the moment. So Buffalo finally going to get done, in my opinion. Get to that Super Bowl.
No. $5 bet.
$5 bet what, that they're going to make the Super Bowl?
That they will make the Super Bowl.
I do $5 that they make the AFC Championship game.
I can't.
So, sir, you're confident they're going to make the AFC Championship game? All right.
I think they could make the AFC Championship, but I just don't. That's their ceiling, and they can't. And
then why did you not give them an 8, then, Mr. Stu?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be some heartaches. Like, this is also like the fun thing. I feel like the Josh Allen era. They've been 0-4 against the Chiefs in the postseason. They lost to the Broncos, and it's just another heartache faction. Like the coin flip, the 1 yard line. I still laugh at that one year when they literally the Chiefs actually wanted to change the rules in the playoffs. So like in overtime, they would want it where one team gets a touchdown, the other team did it. And guess who vetoed it?
The Bills.
Buffalo. And guess how they lost? By their own rules. And you know what the worst part is? They lost to the Chiefs, who wanted to change the rules.
The irony.
The irony of everything.
Well, eventually they got to get done. I feel like it's like the NFL story arc. Like, it's finally going to be the Bills' turn. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think we'll do a contender series on the Bills. I'm just saying. But we'll start with you, Christopher. Do you feel confident?
Yeah. It's in my prediction, it's going to be Denver versus Buffalo in the AFC Championship game. Just in case we want a little bit of snow, we can get some snow in Denver if they're the home team. And obviously, middle of January, it's going to be snowing in Buffalo, so it should be a snowy AFC Championship game against the Broncos and the Bills. So yeah, give me an 8 for the Bills record wise. Are they going to duplicate their 12-5 season last year? Either 12-5 or 13-4, like Doug mentioned. But I think I'm going to side with you, Stuart. I believe you said 12-5. So yeah, 12-5 for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen won the MVP 2 years ago, 2024, because we know Matthew Stafford won it last year. I think Josh Allen's going to have a great season again. He should pick up the MVP. I'm not going to put $5 for them making the Super Bowl, but I would gladly put $5 for them to make the AFC Championship game.
Yeah,
unless they have to play the Chiefs in the playoffs, then that completely shatters every hope for them making the AFC Championship game. But yeah, I expect to see the Bills and the
Chiefs
Broncos.
won't make it then, huh, boys?
we'll see on this one. I'm just saying Buffalo's gonna Buffalo.
Yeah, we should listen to you, Doug. If the Chiefs don't make it, then the Bills have nothing to worry about. Smooth sailings that
unless Denver's there or Joe Burrow's there or
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't trust them Bills. But
I know it's only preseason. Burrow played 2 series last night. Like I said, only preseason, but Burrow did not look good. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And finally, we got the New England Patriots right over here, who made it to the Super Bowl. They lost the Super Bowl badly, and there was some on-field issues right over here with Mr. Right Grable and Dianna Russini's affair issue. But to be fair, Douglas, he did make a nice thing right over here. He, when they came back to the press conference, he wanted to do a nice and beautiful thing right over here. And I wanted to show you this, Douglas.
Well, show me this.
Yes, I'm intrigued. You're intrigued indeed.
Yeah, that cute little puppy. That's not even his.
Welcome, everybody. It's good to see you guys.
Look at that dog, Douglas.
Something that we did last year, obviously the first day of training camp, was the Patriots program that Dana Kraft implemented last year and was really successful.
Look at that dog.
A lot of really good work, not only for these dogs, but for the families that adopted them. So I think we've almost got 60 dogs this year. And so if anybody's looking to add to their roster at home, we would love for you to be able to adopt these dogs tomorrow. I think some of them are already spoken for. Me and Bibi are making quick friends here. German Shepherd mix, so I've been working with her all year. She's going to try to protect me if anybody gets out of control. So we're going to let her roam around. We'll see how she does on this podium here. She's nervous. Do my best here.
Nice way to exit the podium, Mr. Vrabel, after your a love affair with Dianna Russini. Hey,
He's going to protect.
How do I distract as much as possible?
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, Douglas, I mean, yes, this is how we're going to distract it. Be like, oh, don't worry, I got a dog, right? Everything's fine. Everything is fine. Maybe that dog can distract him from the Dianna Russini affair. Just saying.
So before I even saw that clip, I thought cause not everyone, but most people heard about that clip and how, Vrabel's going through that tough time and, the love affair. And I thought that was his dog. Up until I saw that clip, I was like, actually watched the clip. I'm like, dude, that's an adoptive dog. Like, it's not his dog. He just wants to, have a cute little, dog up there. That's, it's up for adoption. Hopefully that dog, Australian Shepherd. Love Australian Shepherds. You just have one. Hopefully he got adopted. Yeah, nice way to completely avoid the media from, crazy questions about what happened during the offseason. But hey, like I said earlier, if he continues to do what he did, whether it's his personal life, whatever he did, they were 14-3 last year. So keep doing it, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, keep doing it. I mean, it's going to be interesting because, I know Douglas was complaining about soft schedules, even though I would argue.
I still am going to bring it up. I said if they win the Super Bowl, it'll all shut up, but they got destroyed.
But to be fair,
they finally played a complete team and they got destroyed.
To be fair, they beat the Texans by 13 points, and that's still good. That was
CJ, well, that's the thing though. It's if that game wasn't played, they got lucky with weather and everything. So many things went so perfect for them to make that run that I don't think it's repeatable. Drake May is great, but that was a 2 years ago Chiefs type of a thing where it's every close thing goes their way, every field advantage. CJ Stroud can't complete a forward pass. They play in snow, I don't know. It doesn't feel sustainable to me. It still feels really fluky looking back at the entirety of it.
Yeah, though it is interesting. The last time a team that lost a Super Bowl and came back to a Super Bowl and won it, you know who was?
Probably the 2018 Patriots.
Yep, 2018 Patriots. So they have a history of doing that. Granted, it's a brand new team than last time, but still. But we'll start with you, Douglas.
They're not going to get as weirdly lucky. Their schedule now, they're playing a number 1 seed schedule versus a number 4 seed schedule. So they're going to play teams with winning records. It's hard to see them winning the division. I mean, they did last year, and good for them. They took care of business, but it's I don't know.
I mean, but that's a good question, Douglas. What do you think the ranking and record is going to be in the final one?
Well, I mean, I think they're going to come down to earth. I think they're still a playoff team. I mean, Drake May, amazing. There's lots of nice pieces, good coaching, good defense, good running game, like well-built team. But I'm going to go more of like a 6. Like I honestly see them being one and done this year. Maybe having to play a road playoff game early in the playoffs, and just probably like we'll go 11-6.
Ooh, you're going to go 11-6 right over there. All right, we're going to start with me next. I feel like the Patriots, they still look good. They do have a tougher schedule. I mean, I'm looking at they got a murder's row of 4 games in a row in the first opening. Seattle, Steelers, they probably will be the Steelers, Jaguars, Bills. They got some easier games in the next 4. It's like Raiders, Jets, and Bears and Dolphins. I think they can win 3 out of 4. Bears could be 50-50. Then they got the Packers, Lions, Chargers, and Bills. That's kind of a tough murder's row. We've got to see if the Lions are going to be good. We're going to see how the Packers going to do. Dolphins, I think that's going to be a win. And then they got to play against the Vikings, Chiefs, Jets, Broncos. It's still a tough one.
I'm not hearing a ton of guaranteed wins in there like last year. Like there's some, but
yeah. And then their final 2 will be Broncos and Dolphins. I still feel like they can win half of those tough games. I still think they can do good. I'm going to give them the 7 because I do feel like that there has been a history of the team who has lost the Super Bowl kind of have a down. They kind of don't improve. They kind of go down. I mean, look at the 49ers. They kind of, collapsed a little bit and they kind of went mid. The Chiefs kind of went, they kind of had that bad one. I just kind of feel like Eagles kind of went mid after they lost that Super Bowl, and they just kind of made the postseason and just got destroyed. So I feel like they're going to be good. I think I'm going to go 12-5. But I think they'll have a little bit of a down year. I don't think it's going to be collapse, but I don't think it's going to be like a vast improvement or like a similar Super Bowl upside. I don't think this team will make a Super Bowl this year.
They lost Stephon Diggs, but they gained A.J. Brown. Obviously, we still know they have Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson. Obviously, they have Drake May. They were 14-3 last year. I agree with both of you guys. I don't think they're going to be 14-3 this year. I probably see, and they're not going to tie the Bills. Their Bills, like I said, they're going to be 12-5. So I could see 11-6. They'll make the playoffs. Like I said, you need to have 11 wins to reach the wild card to make the playoffs. They'll do just that. I could see them making it past the first round, making it past the wild card round, making it to the divisional round. So yeah, give me a 7. I don't think they'll have the glory as they did last year. I don't know, something about it. No reason in particular. But yeah, I don't think they'll make it to the Super Bowl. Don't think they'll make it to the AFC playoffs because I said Bills and Broncos. Yeah, 7, 11-6 for the Patriots.
Yeah, and also I will say, is A.J. Brown going to bitch about not getting the ball this time?
No, that's a good question, but I would say no. It was him and Devontae Smith with the Eagles, but I think he'll have plenty of targets, plenty of opportunities as long as he doesn't drop the ball.
He'll
get targets. So I think A.J. Brown will be I don't think he will be the number 1 target, the wide receiver 1 for the Patriots. So yeah, no complaints from him.
Yeah, I think they'll probably give it to him, but it's just don't drop the ball, A.J. Brown. Learn from your lesson last year. Don't drop the ball and key plays, because the worst type of person is someone bitching about why don't you give it to me, and then we give it to you, and you fucking blow it. Because then I'm going to be like, this is the reason why we're not giving it to you. Sorry. Like, you're blowing this one. And look at that, gentlemen. We did all 8 teams right over here. Do you have any final thoughts, gentlemen?
Go Bills, go Broncos. Let's go.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Josh Allen for the dub. Super Bowl L to the Lions this year. Let's go.
No, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I just realized. I was looking through the Patriots and the Bills schedule. Notice that they both play the Lions. So whenever we cover the Lions, when we do the preview for the NFC North, that's gonna be interesting. It seems like the Lions might have a difficult schedule.
Yeah, I do feel like
I know it's just 2 games out of a 17-game schedule, but
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be the fun part, right? We're gonna see how that goes right over here, and look at that. That
Actually,
is pretty much.
I have it pulled up. Sorry to ruin the send off. Detroit Lions actually have the 6th easiest schedule. So just because I see 2 games doesn't reflect the other 15.
This is their year, man. Gibbs got paid. They're doing it. We're doing it.
Yeah, honestly, I think
And the Browns
we'll
have the
see.
easiest, so maybe it's the year for the Browns and Lions to make.
You're not gonna.
I
win
can't
those
finish that
games.
statement. I can't finish that sentence without laughing.
I mean, no, the Browns are going
It's going to be the greatest
Cleveland Clown.
redemption of all time.
I'm just going to put the
For
clown
Deshaun
emoji
Watson.
when it's going to be Cleveland. I'm just saying.
Cleveland.
Oh, boo. That made me laugh when everyone was like, well, we got to look at the evidence and all that stuff. And then when Deshaun Watson fucking sucks, you're like, fuck this man. We need to get rid of him. Oh, there was an assault charge against it. Like, there's a sexual assault charge. Boo, get rid of Deshaun. He's a piece of shit. It's like,
well, easy. I'm not going to defend Deshaun Watson as a football player or as a man, but they're accusations, not charges. Let's be clear on that.
He did pay them off, just saying.
Well, yeah, money does talk, but he was never formally charged with it. But I'm not trying here to defend him. I'm just using the right words here in case Deshaun Watson watches our podcast.
Like I said, when there's smoke, there's fire. Just saying. But anyway, that is pretty much it for this week. Next week, we're going to talk about we're going to go from the AFC to the NFC. We're going to talk about the NFC East, the NFC House. We're going to talk about my boys. We're going to talk about this. And then we might have a special guest right over here. Not 100% confirmed, but we might have Mr. 5 Points Vids right over here, guest starting in the podcast. So we'll see. And as always, gentlemen, I'm going to catch you later, Mr. Gator. So as always, take care. Bye-bye.